Good evening and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Courtney Gooseman.
And I'm Rob Powers. Tonight at 6, it's a vital safety net for thousands of Ohioans, but that net would get much smaller if a provision buried in the Ohio Senate's proposed budget were to pass.
Proposed changes to the state's SNAP benefits program that met fierce opposition months back are now returning, but this time they've been included in the Ohio Senate's 3,000-page budget bill.
And now opponents are saying it could create a perfect storm. News 5's Jordan Vandenberg takes an in-depth look at why.
Officials for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank said these proposed changes to the SNAP benefits program are the wrong solution at the wrong time. And not only that, it could kick 100,000 Ohioans off the program. The Greater Cleveland Food Bank is a well-oiled machine, and since the pandemic began, it has fired on all cylinders. And then some.
We're still dealing with the effects of the pandemic, with the economic aftermath of the pandemic. Just from last March until this past March 2021, we served 62,000 new households. This is the worst possible time that this could happen.
This would be the implementation of what's called an asset test for food stamp beneficiaries or applicants. It would require the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services to examine the bank accounts of SNAP applicants and recipients to ensure that they don't have more than $2,250. Just $1 over that threshold would kick someone off the program. Kimberly Lovano of the Greater Cleveland Food Bank says these provisions,
they would devastate low-income Ohioans.
Could result in 100,000 Ohioans losing their benefits.
These provisions will essentially punish people who are working, trying to save an extra dollar or two. It will disincentivize someone from taking a raise because if they save over just $2,250, they'll lose their benefits.
These provisions were included in a standalone Senate bill earlier this year. It never made it out of committee, perhaps because more than 60 organizations came out against it, compared to just 3 that testified in favor of it. The proposed changes came back for an encore, buried on page 2019 of the 3,000-page budget proposal.
We can't even imagine what would happen if this bill went into effect and 100,000 people across the state lost their benefits. We know that that would mean longer food lines, not only at our weekly distribution, but at our network of about 1,000 partners as well.
The proposed changes also include provisions about a SNAP recipient's car and its value. The value of any car beyond $4,650 would be applied to the overall asset limit.
You're making parents make an impossible decision. You're deciding whether or not to keep the car that you use to drive to work, or you have to decide if you want to keep food on the table for your kids. It's not a decision that any parent wants to make, and it's really an impossible decision.
Proponents of these changes argue it's needed to ensure that people aren't gaming the system, despite the fact that the federal government estimates food stamp fraud to be around 1.5%. In Cleveland, Jordan Vandenberg, News 5.
And there's more. We've crunched the numbers to give you a better idea of just how many Ohioans could be directly impacted if the change to the food stamp qualification passes through. According to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, as of February, more than 1.5 million Ohioans were receiving benefits through SNAP. Breaking those numbers down further, over 517,000 of those people live in Northeast Ohio counties, and in Cuyahoga County, there are nearly 225,000 active members, over 90,000 of whom are children. Next closest, Summit County, with just over 81,000 members.